Hi there guys, I'm Chris Bowden and welcome to the Geek Group. Once again, we're taking stuff apart. It's an equipment autopsy, and today we have a giant old, well, alright, before the comments begin, I know, but relatively, compared to what people would have at home, a giant UPS. A UPS is an uninterruptible power supply, or a company with a lot of big brown trucks. This is an APC brand UPS. It came out of a NOC, like a real for serious NOC. A NOC is a network operations center, which is a big room with a lot of air conditioning, a lot of backup power supplies, and a whole lot of computers. This particular NOC belonged to Voyager.net. And they gave us a whole bunch of goodies, one of them being this. And a lot of the UPS units that came out of there had a whole lot of years of service life, and we're pretty much hosed. The batteries wear out on these after a while. And they just use standard SLA batteries, if you check that link right there. An SLA battery is a sealed lead-acid battery, which is very similar to the kind of battery in a lot of people's cars. And what these do is an uninterruptible power supply is a machine that you plug it into the wall, and then you plug your very important computer into the UPS, and when the electricity craps out because of a thunderstorm or something like that, this provides your power. And it contains batteries, which provide the source of the electrical energy, and it contains an inverter. Loud noise! Okay. And what it does is it monitors the input power, like the regular AC power going through, and that power is in the United States. 120 volts, sometimes 240 for really big ones like this, but 120 volts AC at 60 hertz. That's alternating current. So that's... Now, the batteries in here are low voltage, are only 12 volts each, sometimes 6. And these have to, they wire them in series parallel banks. These feed an inverter, and that converts the DC from the batteries, which is like 12 volts DC, that pushes that up to that 120 volts, and it turns it into AC, which is a really complicated process. It's really easy to turn AC into DC. You can do that with a couple diodes. You know, you make a rectifier. But to convert DC to convert DC to AC is a much more complicated process, and that could be a video all on its own. So the first thing we're going to do, now that we've got the top off, is let's take a quick look around and see what parts we have. We've got a couple really big transformers. Now, they've got, yep, straight transformer. And they're labeled 15 amps, 125 volts AC. We've got the main board. A couple rather tall, skinny electrolytic caps. Those are probably for filtering. A couple really nice toroidal transformers back there. We've got the battery bank here. We've got outlets on the back. And then some rather nifty circuit breakers, one of which is verschnicked. It's blown forever, so that circuit breaker is totally pooched. And then we got this black box here that I don't know what this is, so we'll look into that too. But the very first thing we want to do is disconnect all the batteries, because this could generate power all on its own. So that's kind of dangerous. So let's make sure it's totally safe. The plug is unplugged in the front. And I'm going to get into some of this stuff here. Let's open up some of the guardrails. Because these screws here are actually holding plugs beneath. And I want to make sure that there's absolutely no connection. Now, you can tell that this has been used, and it's been used hard, because the batteries are distorted on the top. And when the batteries have heated up enough to distort on the top, it's had some abuse. Yeah, that's our main plug into the unit there. Well, there's two of them. There's one here, and this is unplugged, and there's one back here. So we'll pull that out, and we'll get our cutters, and we'll just unlace this battery pack. So we've got a plug here, we've got a plug here, and I can very clearly see that that goes to all those. So we'll start right here. We'll just pull that right. Uh-oh. Now see, if we do that, it's going to short out on here. Now hang on. The positive side of that has a plastic guard. So we'll just take the negatives off there. And that's on there. Good. Need my Gerber Ninja time. All right. I'll pop this out. Oh. Yeah, that's a little gunged up. Maybe some oxidation or something. Now look at these plugs. These are really cool plugs. I'll let you guys get a really good look at that. These are really cool plugs. You see these a lot. Bigger versions of this exact type plug are used on our forklifts. So they come in a lot of different sizes for various amperages, and they're really handy. So this is definitely something for the keep pile. Those are, you can use those robotics applications. You can use them for all kinds of stuff. Let's take off the other one. Start right here. It's a really uncomfortable position to pull from, too. Okay, we got those. Grab it down, pull that out. There we go. Okay, now we've got 2 of those plugs. Now we can do stuff. Cool. And the neat thing is, if you look at the plugs, they're labeled positive and negative. And when you flip the, now notice which sides are plus, and you can see the red wire goes to the plus side. If you spin these around, now these plugs are exactly the same. See, the ends are the same, they're exactly the same, black wire on the right. Now if I flip that over, they plug together. And it's a good positive lock. These come in all different amperage ratings. I'm trying to find the amperage rating on this one. This is 50 amps for these, but you can get them up into hundreds of amps, and you can get them in smaller sizes in this too. All right, now I want to see if we can get the battery tray out. That won't be easy, but let's see if we can do it. Because the batteries are a lot of the weight of this. All the weight's in the batteries and the transformers. There's no real heavy parts here. Oh, here, I want to spin this around so you guys can see it. Look at that. You can see the front of the battery. If Corey zooms in on that really tight, you can see just how gunged up that battery is. It's had a lot of abuse. So we need to see if we can push that out. And now it's time to implement a mighty big lever. So I'm going to grab that. That is not a mighty big lever, but see if I can make them work. See if we can get the first battery out. They're glued together with like tape. I don't think I can just push the whole set out. Oh, that set moves. Okay, hang on. We may get a little lucky. Need a crowbar, and I don't have a crowbar in here, I don't think. Ah! Oh, yeah, now we're talking. Okay. Before I go levering on batteries, I'm going to want safety glasses real quick. So we're going to cut for just a second. We'll be back right after this, and I'm going to go grab a pair of safety glasses.
While the bulk of Geek Group's donations come from corporate sponsors, viewers like you contribute substantially through thousands of individual micro-donations. You can donate anywhere from 20 cents to $20 or more, helping us educate and improve our community and the world. Open your mind for less. Announcing the Geek Group Kick-A-Buck program.
All right, we're back, and I got safety glasses. So now let's lever into some batteries. I don't even know what this is for, but it's cool. Oh, it's my cheap Chinese. Here, look, get a good look at that. My cheap Chinese pry bar. Let's get that right down in there. I'm gonna die. They're swollen in. I wonder if we can extract them out a different way. If there's, because we'll go around the front here and get a look. Yeah, I think. Ooh, I'm dropping stuff. I think they're too wide to get out the little hole. Let's just try them one at a time and see what we get. We'll pull this right off. Okay. We've had some fun experiences with batteries in the past. That ain't coming out. Ugh. Oh yeah, that'll make it, okay. Get out! Ah! Ha 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 ha! Okay, now. Now I got an owie. Look at that. I got an owie. See, that's what I do for you. I bleed for this video. Oh, I got it. It's like wedged in the door. It's nice out here. They'll treat you with kindness. I need something fat that won't break it. See, I'm worried about stabbing it, because that's never happened before. Oh, a hammer. Where's my hammer? Ah, baby hammer. Baby hammer. Ha! Who's your daddy now? It's so close. It's so very close. It's like it's right there. It's so swollen. If I could. And I see the big swollen part. There's this big lump on the side of the battery that's preventing it to get out. There's a really. All right. I I got an idea. I can't fit the battery through the hole. Take off the hole. Alright, so we got the rivets out and I cut this here. So now we can move this whole thing out of the way. We can fold this one down. And now watch this. You just get all that metal out of the way. And this should pretty much just pop right out. You'll see why this gave me so much trouble in just a second. You guys haven't been able to see it very well. But let's just lever this back and that'll pop right out. There we go. Now look at this battery. Look at the bulge on the end. Look at the size of that. And this is all just beat up, overloaded battery. This battery is melted down in this unit. And that one battery, that one big bulge on the end, and this is a Panasonic, well here, you can read it right there for yourself. It's a Panasonic LC-R127R2P1 battery. Okay? And it's got a 14.5 volts, and it's beat up. It's had a hard life. This is a standard SLA, see, sealed lead acid battery, and we're going to recycle these because that's pooched. Now let's see how bad the other ones are. I see a lot of bulging, I see a lot of damage, but now that we've got that totally open, this should be a relatively straightforward process. So we'll just see if we can grab a bundle of them. I think they split in the middle. Yeah, see, this is how they're supposed to come out. Oh, did I speak too soon? Did I run my mouth without having... Okay, here, we'll get that out of the way. Bend that up. Ah! Look at that, see? Boom, you get that one gunged battery out, and the rest come right out. Ah! Oh, those are in there. Come on, guys! Party's out here. Ah! There we go. Okay. There's a whole module of them, and they're all those Panasonic batteries. And it's a gloss black surface, so it's a photography nightmare. But we'll let Corey see if he can get some really good shots, or maybe we can even get Liz in here with some really cool shots of those with the Sony cam, and really show the abuse on those batteries. They're really, really mank. So we're going to get these cleaned up, and we'll be back in just a second, and then we'll start looking into this. For over a decade, Morrison Industrial Equipment has provided the Geek Group with all of the forklifts used by our facilities. Everything from a little old one that we could take apart just for an equipment autopsy, to the giant Lindy they loaned us to move our huge robots and power supplies into the Grand Rapids labs, to our tried and true Big Yellow, which has been our main forklift for years. The Geek Group recommends Morrison Industrial Equipment with the absolute highest regards. If your company needs a forklift anywhere in Southwest Michigan, check out morrison-ind.com and tell them the Geek Group sent you. Till then, we'll see you next time. All right, so we got all the batteries out of there. Now we'll move this, and you guys can see right down in there. Look at that. Look at the gunge. See, all that's corrosion caused by the batteries, and you can see that corrosion comes from a specific spot right there. See that? You can see very clearly where the battery leaked. It leaked acid out, and it's all nasty. There's a couple of those spots. Those are... I don't have much faith in Panasonic batteries. All right, now let's get into the rest of it. We've got our terminals here. I'd like to pull these out and salvage them. They're terminated here. I don't have a screwdriver to fit that. I want to see what we can do. Yeah, I don't have any nut drivers that size. I don't have any nut drivers. How do I know? Oh, hang on. I might be able to do it with this. I got a rather nifty little set of toy pliers here. Let's see if these will do it. Oh yeah, those aren't in there that tight at all. Oh, see, that's easy. Alright, now let's see. This is a pretty serious fuse here. Check this out. It's a pretty cool looking fuse. Now that fuse is rated for 100 amps at 32 volts. So that's rather beefy. We'll keep that. Could be handy. Now this, where's the other connection? Down in there. Alright. We'll just get that off. Right there. Because this is all useful parts. This is all low voltage, rather high amperage stuff. There is another one of those mating connectors for that. And this red one goes off onto here. So I'm just going to take these right off. If I can get a screwdriver on it. Don't need that. Just going to lean those over. See, when you know it's never going to go back together again, you can do things like that. Because I just broke like 50 solder connections on the board. Now see, what I really want to hear is that these transformers take 120 volts in at like 30 amps, look at those, and output 24 volts of AC. Because we're installing a lot of security cameras around the lab right now. And you'll be able to watch them on the internet soon. And all those cameras run on 24 volts AC. If we had these going, send them out to 2 power rails, and each one of those rails gets a little fuse, like a 2 amp fuse, and send that off to the camera, and you can power every security camera in the whole building off those 2 things, which would be pretty cool. Alright, now let's see what we got here. These transformers are connected together. These connectors here are actually joined by a pair like that. If you look, they're very similar in the generic shape. And there's a bolt through. You can make out the silhouette of it. And I don't want to take the time to mess with that, so I'm just going to come right in here. Good pair of cutters. Take that right in. And this is a particularly good pair of cutters. I'm a big fan of this. Take a look. Right there, you can see it. Those are Klein's. That's just good. I am a serious fan of Klein Tools, who is also not a sponsor, but they should be. All right, now we've got the batteries out. We've got the transformers disconnected for the most part. We just got a couple little wires here. All right, we'll get that thing out of the way before I slip my wrists on it. I don't want to die today. I'm too pretty to die. All right, now we'll spin this around this way. I'm going to take the big power cord off the back. You guys don't really care about that. But we'll cut that off, because that could actually be used for something. It's a really nice piece of 3-wire SJ cord. It's 12-3. And 12-3 on a piece of cable like this. And you can see it right there. Okay, 12-3 means that it's 12 gauge, 3 conductors. So there's 3 wires in there, and they're all 12 gauge. And I can see that there's a black, a green, and a white. And that is a beefy cord. It's got a 20 amp plug on it. See the funny plug with the one thing sideways? In the US, that means this is a 20 amp, 125 volt plug. So I can put a regular plug on that and use that for one of the big studio lights or something like that. Let's see if there's anything else really interesting in here to get into. I want to know what this box is on the back. It's been bugging me. So we're going to open this up, take a look inside, and see what we can see. The box is empty. Pull that out. And this is held in just by a couple little clips on the bottom and the top. Get a screwdriver in there. Pop the clips. There we go. All that work and the box is empty. Look, it's just a little plug on the back. So it's got to be some kind of module. Don't need that. Save that. Now, we're down in here. These caps, look at those caps. Those look familiar? Check out our video on the Geek Group MMC array. And those caps look very similar. I'm going to cut them out. We'll get a good look at it. We'll read it. What is this cap? It's an APC brand capacitor, which is funny because this is an APC brand thing, and I don't think APC actually owns a capacitor factory. I'll bet these were made for them. Made in Mexico. It's 3400200A. It's a 20 mic cap at 150 volts AC. So that's cute, but that looks and feels exactly like one of the Cornell Dublier 942C series caps that we use for our MMC array. So set that aside for Paul. He'll get a kick out of it. Now we've got a couple, if you look down in here, look at those. Those look like standard automotive fuses, and they're actually soldered directly to the motherboard. There's a pair of 30 amp fuses there. We got these big plugs that we pull out. Those are the power cables that go up to the transformers. Don't need those. I was really hoping to find much more interesting stuff in here. This is actually pretty boring. I was hoping to find like some big relays and stuff like that. I found some rather serious relays here, but they're nothing really special. That's a big relay, Potter and Brumfield relay there. And that'll pull right off. Now those I can't just yank on, but let's see if we can get them out. We'll get here, I'll pull it out and then you guys can get a look at it. Now these are some nice little panel mount circuit breakers. Check that out. Hey, and it's from Jackson, Michigan. That's just a couple hours drive from here, so hi to the guys at Mechanical Products in Jackson, Michigan. There are one of your circuit breakers. Little 120 volt, 15 amp circuit breaker right there. Take another one out. So there you go, right from Michigan. Cool. It's nice because everything I've pulled out of here, you see the cap was made in Mexico and the batteries are probably out of China and all that jazz. Like, boom, Michigan right there, a couple hours away. Well, that's pretty much everything there is to see. You can see these two little transformers down here. These are probably high voltage switching power supply kind of thing. There's some big silicon power stuff over here. I'll see if I can rip one of these out for you guys to see. There you go. Look at that. Now these are, let's see if I can read it, IRF 3710, and chip number is 941G, and they were made in 1993. All right, that's pretty much it. It's a circuit board. I kind of like these toroidal coil forms. I kind of want to rip one out. Let's see if we can. We'll give it a shot real quick. I think there'd be a little violence involved to do this. Yeah, it ain't coming out without a fight. I don't feel like it. All right, so that's the video. That's the inside of a giant uninterruptible power supply. So we're going to gut out the rest of this. Transformers will go off to Paul in a high voltage lab, and he'll play with those, and they might be used for ballast or something like that. You guys have fun. Keep exploring how the world works. I'm Chris Bowden. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time.
This video was made possible by a grant from the Future Girl Foundation.
This video was made possible by thousands of private donations from members and viewers like you. Please visit thegeekgroup.org for more information on how you can donate and become a part of our dreams of Avalon.